and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought, and his angels, and prevailed not. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, the accuser which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out unto the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Well, he trained kids for years in self-defense. Now a martial arts instructor is defending himself in court, accused of sexually assaulting a student.
Do you really believe in magic?
In Chinese black magic?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you still serious about this? And monsters and ghosts as well, I suppose.
Oh, sure. And sorcery.
And I suppose that you expect me to believe in sorcery as well.
Of course.
Why?
Because it's real.
How can I know that, Mr. Shen?
How?
Yes, how? Help me out here. Please, how?
See? That was nothing. But that's how it always begins. Very small.
The floodgates of Eastern mysticism and New Age thought were opened in the West through cinema and literature, focused on a generation searching for its identity. With the Cultural Revolution, Woodstock and the Beatles, martial arts, yoga, and the introduction of transcendental meditation found a growing acceptance among baby boomers. Television shows and films such as David Carradine's Kung Fu, The Green Hornet, Billy Jack, and Bruce Lee's Epic brought the mystical powers of the martial arts into the homes and lives of millions of Americans. And a country, once historically Christian in background and belief, began to flirt with the ideologies of the Far East. And little did we realize the price we would pay for stepping onto this enchanted ground. During the 1970s and 80s, martial arts became mainstream. With the introduction of full-contact karate and kickboxing to the public, the martial arts were now being promoted not only as self-defense, but as a sport, as health and fitness, and even as a family activity. Martial arts, Tai Chi, and yoga classes began springing up in YMCAs and health clubs across the U.S. And Hollywood and the printed page brought secrets of the Far East within reach of the imaginations of millions of Americans, while promising them discipline, self-confidence, self-control, and self-esteem. During the 1990s, Chinese masters with their internal arts of Tai Chi, Bagua, Xingyi, and Qigong began publishing books which revealed the methods of attaining these once secret abilities of the martial art legends. And there is now a growing interest in the spiritual powers and practices of these men of the East. Even many celebrities and politicians have revealed their active participation in these and other mystical Eastern arts. Today, the martial arts, seductively blended with metaphysics and psychology, has begun to take on a more scientific facade. Once traditionally secret arts are now being taught as the means to achieve not only personal protection, but self-healing, self-awareness, and emotional regeneration. Self-empowerment has become the god of this age. A web of Eastern philosophy and mysticism is being spread in an ever-increasing attempt to capture the hearts and minds of this last generation. Through Hollywood, the film and entertainment industry is weaving an illusion of the martial arts being both scientific as well as spiritual. And it is this blend of science and spiritism which will prove to be the final omega of apostasy, which was foretold by the apostles of Jesus Christ.
I put the Force into the movies in order to try to awaken a certain kind of spirituality in young people. More a belief in God than a belief in any particular, religious system. I mean, the real question is to ask the question, because if you haven't enough interest in the mysteries of life to ask the questions: is there a God or is there not a God? That's for me the worst thing that can happen. If you ask a young person, is there a God, and they say, I don't know. I think you should have an opinion about that.
The question must be asked: a belief in what God? Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended down from above? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? And what is this mystery which Lucas and others are spending billions to introduce to the youth of our generation? Let no man deceive you by any means, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. According to the Chinese classic, the Tao Te Ching, the Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth both to good and evil. The Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you, and you can use it any way you want. This spiritual energy called the Tao, or universal life force, is symbolized by the mystical figure of the yin and yang. And it is through this merging of light with darkness, these two opposite yet supposedly equal powers, that harmony and the Tao is manifest, and spiritual gifts and abilities are said to be achieved. This description is identical to that of the power used by the Jedi and Sith warriors in the Star Wars film series. This very same power is also called by them the Force, and it is this force of light and darkness, of good and evil, which Lucifer claims to be. It is this spirit and power which has been worshipped by every occult and pagan religion since the dawn of time. Albert Pike, the author of Morals and Dogma, states this belief in unmistakable terms. Yes, Lucifer is God, and unfortunately, Adonai, or the Lord Jesus, is also God. For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no beauty without ugliness, no white without black. For the Absolute can only exist as two gods, darkness being necessary to light. Simply put, pure philosophic religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. And professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. For if therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? According to both Asian and occult philosophy, this force or energy is said to dwell within all matter, the rocks, the trees, the planets, animals, and every human being. And although hidden, it is said to be only awaiting to be awakened. An awakening which is achieved through the practice of Eastern meditation, breathing techniques, mantra chanting, visualization, hypnosis, and countless other occult practices. It is this spiritual energy which all Eastern religions credit as the true source of their power. Although this mysterious power is called by different names in every culture, its principles and manifestations are always the same. For what is known as Qi by the ancient Chinese is called Qi in the Japanese art of Aikido. while to the Hindu, this same power is known as prana. To the Polynesian people, it is called mana, or mana, energy. And by many New Age practitioners in the West, this spiritual power is called Oregon, vibrational or subtle energy. And this same spiritual energy today is being used and promoted by New Age gurus worldwide. To martial artists across the world, the cultivation, control, and demonstration of this energy is considered the highest and most sought-after ability. Qi is said to be manifest through harmonizing both positive and negative forces of the universe within the human body. This energy is then demonstrated by martial artists in countless ways: stone, brick, or board breaking, iron body exhibitions, performing seemingly impossible feats of acrobatic skill, withstanding extremes of temperature, exhibiting superhuman strength, speed, and explosive power. And this same mysterious energy, which is used by disciples and masters of these combative arts, is also demonstrated by Qigong and Reiki practitioners, by acupuncturists, acupressurists, Tai Chi masters, yoga gurus, and New Age holistic healers. To many, this power is called the God Spark, or cosmic consciousness. But regardless of its name, this esoteric power is from one and the same source.